All right, y'all. So I want to help you guys all out with how to date in 2024. Because with how much access we have to people consistently, especially on dating apps, we're just swiping through faces. It's so easy to not eventually end up with someone. If you're like me, I've been on dating apps for a few years now and I've had barely any success. But what I will say is that I understand when to go on a date versus when not to now. And I want to share this information with you guys. Because with dating, especially on these apps, everything's prioritized on looks, right? Like you're only going to swipe right on a person if they look good, and you'll be more inclined to want to go on a date with them because of it. But the thing in our dating culture today, compared to like our parents' generation, who, if you grew up like how my parents did, arranged marriages were huge. Nowadays, it's not like the same thing because people just want to not really get to know someone. They're like, hey, let's just meet up in person. Typically, I was doing this at a certain point where I would just want to meet the person in person rather than have all this surface level talk over text, right? But I realized when I was doing that I was going on dates with people that didn't really match with me. Like we didn't have the same values. We didn't have the same interests. And I realized this was happening because I was only judging the date based off of how the person looked. I was like, maybe this will work out. But in the process of doing that, I go on this date and within 5 minutes of meeting this person, I know that this person isn't for me. So not only did I lose my time, but as a man, especially, like you lose your money. So to help all of you guys out today, especially men, I want you guys to understand the key way to knowing if a date is good, and I've experienced this recently, is to FaceTime that person prior to going on the date. Because when you do this, you obviously are inclined to talk to this person, right? Because you already find them attractive. But the next thing is, how does that person interact? How is their personality, right? Like you get a better feel for these things. It's the same thing as if you were meeting them in person, but instead you are saving your time and money by figuring these things out ahead of time. And when you go on these calls, I guarantee you women enjoy this because you are making an effort, not only just for yourself, but for them to know that, like, are you worth their time as well? Right? Because, and being a man, today's society is kind of crazy. Guys are weird. So it makes them also feel comfortable. So it's a good thing to do. So I would say just get off the app as soon as possible and say, hey, can I get your number? Would you be interested in FaceTiming prior to us meeting up or hanging out or me making plans? Anything. You can phrase it however you want. And when you're on this FaceTime with this girl, ask things that you truly care about. As in, like, what do you value? If you're watching this right now and you don't know what your values are and what you are looking for in a partner, then that's where you need to start first. Because without that conversation will go nowhere. You're going to be talking about surface level things like what's your favorite color, what movies are you into, what are your hobbies? And don't get me wrong, like those things are important to have and to discuss as well, that can just be in the flow of conversation. But without understanding what your values are and what you're looking for in a partner and seeing if they align with the person that you're talking to, then if this conversation should continue forward to even having those little like small talks and those, I don't want to say surface level conversations at that point, because once you get to that point, that your values are the same. The things that are beneath the surface are the same. So anything above that is just cherries on top, right? Is how I like to look at it. So understand that, see where that goes, and then you'll get a feel for like what they want too. And then the conversation will get to a point where you will know whether or not that person is meant for you to go on a date with or not. And I experienced this, like I said, just last week. I went on a date with this girl and I tried this. I said, hey, would you like to FaceTime before we decide to meet up? And she loved that. She said, yeah. And it was a good conversation. I'll be honest, we have different values and religious values and things of that nature. But the thing is, in the past, if I didn't ask that question, I would have found that out on the date. And I would have spent my time and my money, which is very valuable to me, especially my time. And I would have just wasted my time, right? But the girl was a nice girl, but we were both upfront about our values. You know, I was saying, hey, this is like what I'm looking for. This is what I want in a partner. Anything outside of that is not something that I care about, or not care about rather, but not things that are typically, you know, I can live with if you don't have these other things. But these values right here that I'm listing out to you, these are the things I'm looking for in a partner. And she told me, saying, hey, like, this is kind of where I'm at. This is not necessarily, I don't think our, you know, values and with religion align. So this is probably not going to work out. And that's okay. And the conversation ended there, and we hung up, and it was fine. But because I did that, one, I learned more about myself, because although I found the girl obviously very attractive, I realized there's certain things that I don't want in a partner more. And there were certain things that I do want more in a partner. And you can always update your values, right? But this is the most efficient way to learn more about what you want and what you should also be working on. Because there was something that I realized, okay, and as I continue to do this, I'll understand more and more that maybe this is what women are looking for. And like, there's a common denominator in what women are, a commonality rather, in what women are looking for. But I only will be able to do that if I go on enough of these calls with women at minimum before I can realize what it is that I maybe need to be better at. Because I can say, hey, like, these are the values that I want in a woman. This is what I'm looking for. But at the same time, I got to understand that I have to be providing what I'm requiring, right? So, and the only way you do this without wasting your time and money is FaceTiming. Like, it's literally so simple. It's 2024, like I said. Dating apps and this overstimulation and seeing so many people I'm noticing so many people are having a hard time finding a partner. And this is the best way to do it. If you have any questions about what my values are, let me know in the comments. I can honestly tell you guys if you're curious enough, but at the same time, you need to figure out what that is for yourself. Sure, you could go on the dates and do these same things, but do you really want to waste all your time and money if it doesn't go well? When you could just be at your house and quickly understand if this person's meant for you or not. And if they are meant for you, right? And if they are meant for you, you feel like that FaceTime call is worth it, then you know going into the date what you're getting yourself into, right? And then you can build off the conversation that you have from FaceTime. It's just so much better. Makes the life a lot easier for you. You learn more about yourself. You learn more about other people, in my case, women. And I guarantee you this will help. And I want to hear you guys, I want to see everyone be with someone, because I think dating with intention is the way to go. Just to date, you're wasting your time. You're not learning anything about yourself because you're not looking for anything serious. And then you're also wasting that other person's time as well. So I hope you guys like this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Share with a friend that wastes their time going on dates and is looking to date intentionally, but they can't find anyone. Save them their time and money. All right, till next time, y'all.